What's up, YouTube? Look, I have a shirt on. Welcome to my home. So I'm consuming some YouTube, and I use YouTube as an educational piece for myself too. And then this dude, Mr. Subaru, came across, and he was talking about thermal control valve on your newer Subaru engines. Thermal control valve, right? So what he was basically is Subaru screwed up, and this is an employee of some part of Subaru somewhere, that they decided they were going to re-engineer the thermostat and cooling system and turn it into this hunk of plastic that has sensors and solenoids and all this stuff in there to try and control engine temperatures, emissions, and everything else a lot more stricter. So then he said that this is such a high failure rate on all their naturally aspirated engines, and it's a five year span of this. 18 to 20, 22, I think he said. 18 and 22. 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, yes. Non-turbo engines. And he's like, why did they change what has been working since the age of time, which was an aluminum manifold connecting both halves of the block together and a mechanical thermostat? So they re-engineered all that crap. And just like everyone else, they come out with these electronic thermostats, thermo valves, thermo controllers with sensors and solenoids. And what gets me is that some engineer sitting at some table, probably not even at a table, across net meeting or some shit like that, and they're saying, well, we designed the engine, but we want to go with this cooling system, and we're going to use a plastic thermostat valve, and we're going to get this feature, and we're going to get this benefit, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But we haven't tested it. And we're like, just put it in production. Failure rate after failure rate, high failure rate, high failure rate, high failure rate, failing under warranty, failing out of warranty. It has so much failure rates, such a high failure rate for this 5-year vehicles. And they redesigned and did this and did that and updated this and that. They're still having tons of issues with it. So Subaru, the stand-up company they are, said, I guess somewhere they sat around and said, man, we're taking a beating here. Yeah, your beating came from your engineers not testing the products. Does anyone test their products anymore before they put them into production and put them on the street? Well, I'm going to tell you, that costs money. And what they're doing is they're cutting out the fat, right? They're cutting out the testing time. And they're just saying, we'll just put it back on the consumer. That's exactly what they're doing. And all these other manufacturers, they didn't test the long-term effects of GDI engines. They didn't test the long-term effects of low-tension oil springs, under-designed PCV systems. They're not testing nothing. They build it, it runs, it works, it meets the criteria for EPA, for power, economy, emissions, blah, blah, blah. Put, stricter standards on the tunes, put, heavy load catalytic converters in there, and get this car out into production and get it on the dealer's lot so we can sell it. And hope that it makes 3 years, 36,000 miles. Average warranty today on a new car. Hope that it makes 3 years or 36,000 miles. You know what that means after that? You're screwed, Mr. or Mrs. Customer. So Subaru basically said, hey, we're not going to do this to these customers with this five-year poorly engineered part. Thank you, engineers of Subaru. I don't know where you got your engineering degree from, but it's probably from a Cracker Jack box. You have to test. Even when I do something, I have to test it to see how it works and how it functions. And a 5-minute test sometimes just doesn't do it. They say, oh, we've tested these vehicles, we do this, we do that. We wouldn't get so many defective parts today. We wouldn't have so many engine problems. But Subaru, the stand-up company that they are, issued a 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty on these thermo control valves, which is your electronic thermostat control valve assembly, which is buried under your intake manifold. And for the regular technician who doesn't really do these, it's not as easy as it sounds. You think, oh, it's just a thermostat. It's a big block of plastic with some hoses and some connectors. Yeah, under your intake manifold, disconnecting high pressure fuel lines, and if you don't replace the right parts in there, your car could catch on fire, as many have, leaving the Subaru dealerships after these were replaced. So, yeah, kudos to Subaru, stand-up company, just like Kia and Hyundai. They know they got an issue, and they're making good on it the best that they can. They're putting, long blocks in people's cars. They're not giving you a whole new engine. They're just fixing the oil consumption problem, and they can't fix all the other issues that you've neglected on your car. And that's just another story, but that's a stand-up company. They want their customers to feel comfortable and confident that if there's a major issue with their product, that they're going to have somebody backing up above and beyond warranty, which is good, within reason, because then you would have thousands and millions of people wanting everything for free. But good for Subaru, choking this down. The technician who's talking about this was saying this is a $1,200 to $2,000 job at Subaru, depending on labor rates and how much they mark the parts up. Because it's not just one part. There's many other parts in there that you may or may not need while you're taking this apart. So if you have a thermostat code in your 5-year production Subaru from 18 to 22, and you're at AutoZone or Advanced, these guys may not know that you have a above and beyond extended warranty with Subaru, at Subaru, not anywhere else, for 15 years, 150,000 miles. That is big. Kudos to Subaru. Good job. Subaru, get your engineers to test your products better. I've always been a fan of Subaru. When I see Subarus into my shop, it's usually for some type of exhaust or emissions failures. And your technicians don't educate your customers on how to properly maintain those engines, and that's why the catalytic converters fail. We also see Subarus in for rear differential chattering. It's because you're not advising the right maintenance intervals for the rear differentials. So I would say 9 out of 10 Subarus that I see, older generation, they're leaking oil from the head gaskets, the differential is chattering, and their catalytic converter has failed from overextended oil changes and lack of proper maintenance. Thanks for watching. Good for you, Subaru.